How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Just Nobody's podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
And I'm your host, Dean.
And today we're doing a podcast. Woo! If you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button and hit the like button, and also comment what you guys want us to talk about on next week's podcast. We're going to be talking about some of the things we saw, some of the suggestions through like Instagram DMs and comments on the last video. So let's get into the podcast.
Yeah.
So starting out first, I thought we would talk about something that is applicable and relatable to everyone, and that comes with eating, right?
Yes.
And with eating, there are foods that are so good, but so deadly for you.
Right.
If
so
prepared wrongly.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much a lot of foods are deadly.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Chicken's deadly.
Yeah. So I thought we'd go through and talk about 5 of the deadliest foods that one person can consume.
One of them is live baby octopus. Now, this is a thing. It's a Korean dish, but when you think about it, a lot of people have actually died from eating this because when you eat live baby octopus, it's actually the tentacles, and they're still active. So, like, the suction cups, like, still stick and everything. So when people don't chew it enough, they'll actually swallow the tentacle, and it'll get stuck to their throat, and they can't get it out.
Really?
It's like the tentacle, the suction cup is stuck onto like the walls of their throat, so they choke and die.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So what do they do though? If it happens, they're gonna.
They die.
Oh, there's no.
You choke and you die.
Oh.
I don't really know how you could unsuction a tentacle in your throat.
What do you call it? I had it done where it's endoscopy, maybe endoscopy.
Endoscopy.
Where they put the the tube through your throat. And so I guess you could knock it off with that.
Yeah, but you have to get there in time. Someone has to be ready to do it right there.
So are you saying that right when it attaches, it's like done?
I mean, it's like you have food stuck in your throat that you can't get off the wall of your throat.
Wow.
It's just stuck there. What are you going to do? Nothing.
I don't know. He's frustrated.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, like, if a tentacle gets stuck in your throat, how are you going to get it out without something else going down your throat, and like you have to like jam it off the wall of your throat?
How big is the tentacle?
They're like that big.
And that could kill you?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is red kidney beans.
What?
So apparently, if you don't prepare red kidney beans the right way,
Okay.
they have it could be very toxic for your body. I don't know if it could technically kill you, but it does cause diarrhea, abdominal pain, vomiting, and headaches.
Wow.
Apparently, you're supposed to soak it for hours, and you're supposed to boil it for at least 10 minutes in order for red kidney beans to be safe.
Is red kidney beans the ones you just buy in the can?
Yes.
So if you open up the can and eat it, you're going to
But those, I feel like, are okay because those are already, pre-canned.
I see.
Yeah, but if you get them, raw, then you have to do the whole process.
Okay, moving on. This is called fugu. Okay, fugu is a pufferfish. Now, it's a Japanese delicacy.
Ooh.
And it's incredibly dangerous. So there's a bunch of neurotoxins that are found in the liver and the ovaries of the pufferfish that when you consume it, it just attacks your brain.
Yeah.
And it will, and even in small amounts, it will paralyze muscles. So it would lead to respiratory failure and death.
That's crazy that it'll actually paralyze you.
And apparently, the chefs that do know how to prepare this,
Yeah.
it takes years and years of training before they actually serve it to someone.
That's insane. I feel like I have seen this where it's I think the amount of toxin that's in that part of the pufferfish is enough to kill 200 people.
Really?
That could be wrong, but that's a rumor I heard.
It makes sense if small amounts of it can kill someone.
Yeah.
So I guess
one fish, it has the capability of killing 200 people.
Wow. So that's the fish's defense mechanism, right? To
I guess. I mean, if humans can't eat it, I bet fish probably can't eat it either. So other fish, so it's probably not.
When you look at a pufferfish, it has the spikes on it, right? And the idea is that when fish that are bigger than it try to bite it, it poisons them, right? The spikes poison them.
Is that how it works? I thought their whole defense mechanism was just the whole inflating thing. I didn't know it actually poisoned things.
I'm pretty sure it
Oh, that's crazy.
poisons.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Comment if you're a sea expert and let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, ackee fruit.
Ackee fruit. What is
Native
that?
in Jamaica.
Okay.
It's a delicious fruit when ripened, but Jamaican vomiting sickness due to the presence of hypoglycin, a toxin that leads to severe vomiting, hypoglycemia, and even death.
Whoa.
So basically, hypoglycemia, I'm pretty sure that's when your sugar levels are low. I'm pretty sure.
So the fruit will drop your sugar level?
I could be wrong. Don't take medical advice from me, but I'm pretty sure glycemia, I think, is sugar in your blood.
Okay.
And I want to say, this is going to sound so bad if I don't have this right, but hyperglycemia is when you have high sugars in your blood. And in turn, diabetic people will take insulin to lower their hyperglycemia, because glucose is sugar.
Right.
And glycemia, I think, is the same. I could look really dumb right now. I'm not sure. But yeah, like if your blood sugar's too low, right, you can faint.
Right.
So it makes sense that maybe this fruit, essentially, it almost like kind of like dehydrates you in a way.
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong. Just don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
But yeah, the severe vomiting is scary.
Yeah.
Okay, cassava is a staple food in many tropical regions. Okay, it contains, here we go again, glycosides, which I think is some kind of
glucose.
Yeah, but cyanide is also in it.
Oh, what the heck?
So when you eat it raw, or if it's not properly prepared correctly, it can result in cyanide poisoning, leading to death in severe cases. Now, cyanide poisoning is pretty much death.
Yeah.
There's no really return from cyanide poisoning, I don't think. Like,
no, I don't think so.
A mild version of
No,
it.
yeah. Cyanide poisoning is cyanide poisoning. Like, you're dead.
Yeah, you're done.
I mean, wasn't that like the poison that people would like hold in their mouth just in case, like spies would hold that in their mouth just in case they got captured and then they would just take it so they wouldn't reveal any information?
I mean,
I think that's a rumor, but maybe that's just in movies.
It's that's really amazing if that's the case, because that means cyanide poisoning is quick.
Yeah.
Like, it takes you out fast, which I'm not sure. I don't know enough about cyanide, but I do know cyanide is deadly.
I also think
in any amount.
Raw almonds have small amounts of cyanide. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I know people that harvest almonds, their hands are all messed up from all the cyanide.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's scary.
It's crazy to think about how foods, if prepared a certain way, are safe, but when they're not prepared a certain way, they're deadly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
That can't be good to eat that.
No, I don't think so. Even if they found a way to make it edible, there's got to be some traces that are not healthy still for you.
Yeah. That's kind of scary.
I'm trying to think of a time we ate something that was kind of questionable. I have had the octopus or the squid where the tentacles are alive.
Oh, you
it's still
have?
moving.
Okay.
And I just remember saying to myself, chew it. And
Yeah.
the people that I was with said, hey, as long as you chew it, you're good. You know, but it's such a weird thing to have faith and trust in yourself to chew it properly. For me, I don't chew enough. I don't chew fast enough. I mean, I don't chew enough, meaning I swallow my food too fast, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're supposed to really chew your food good and really
don't do
break
that
it
either.
down so it's almost like a mush.
Yeah.
It's easier to digest. But for me, I'll just like take a couple bites and then swallow and just keep on going.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Okay, moving on to movie news.
Movie news. Okay. So apparently, we all know the Joker 2 came out, but news has broke out about Joker 1.
Okay.
In Joker 1, apparently it was supposed to end with the Joker carving his face
Right.
in front of the supporters, but the reason why they couldn't do that was Christopher Nolan was like against it.
Right.
But now,
Since Christopher Nolan
is no longer with Warner Brothers, they were able to include that in the movie.
Christopher Nolan's now with Universal, so.
Yeah.
And I heard that Todd Phillips, I'm not quoting him and I'm not sure about this, but according to some sources, his relationship with James Gunn is really bad.
Okay, because there was news that said that Todd Phillips or James Gunn had no say at all in this movie.
So if everyone who doesn't know, James Gunn apparently, as we all know, is now the head of DC, right? And it looks very promising on what he's going to do. But Todd Phillips, his Joker movie has been like a standalone universe, right? It's like the Elseworld of DC. And apparently on Joker 2, James Gunn had no involvement in it, and Todd Phillips would only work with like liaisons of DC, where it was like news would travel to the liaison, and then that person would then tell Todd Phillips that James Gunn wanted certain things, but then Todd Phillips would just be, hey, I'm not talking to James.
That's crazy.
And then another thing, in the credits of Joker 2, instead of having like the DC logo, it has the old DC logo where it says characters inspired by or characters by DC, like the universe, like Joker, Harley Quinn. He's trying to, it's almost like a jab, like he wanted it to be the old DC, but
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and apparently Todd Phillips was secluded on a ranch during the opening weekend of Joker 2.
Oh.
He didn't want to see any of the box office.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because apparently Morbius made more money than...
What?
Morbius apparently made more money than Joker 2 did in their opening weekend.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. Okay, moving on, though, to some Star Wars news.
Ooh.
Ewan McGregor has revealed that they are currently exploring ideas of Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2.
Oh, nice.
And he said he does want to wear the Clone Wars outfit, like the Clone Trooper armor.
So it's like a prequel then?
Yeah, I guess. Like the flashbacks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he would have flashbacks with that armor, but also more flashbacks with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing. You bring Hayden Christensen back. Like, honestly, what I think everybody wants to see is not necessarily Hayden Christensen being Darth Vader. I really don't think people want that. I think people want the time between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Like, that would be really cool to see
Clone
more.
Wars, yeah.
Clone Wars. that's where the mask is off and you could really see more of the live action.
Right.
Like, that's what we want.
Yeah, I think they need to do that.
I don't see why are we all trying to be like, oh my gosh, Hayden Christensen's back. Why don't we start asking for what we want? We want the 2 to 3 in between story. We don't need him dressed up as Darth Vader.
No, yeah. Let's not even do the whole Kenobi season 2. Let's just do a live action Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, how about that?
Yeah, why don't we get 3 movies in between 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, why are we overcomplicating things? Like, let's just go back. All right. The era of 2 and 3 was great.
Yeah. Don't just give us flashbacks.
Yeah. That's when people are watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, the episode moments where people were going crazy were the flashbacks.
Yeah.
So if you know that that's what was getting people going, why don't we just do a show just that?
And I'm sure Ariana Greenblatt would come back as young Ahsoka and would want to do that again.
Right.
For a whole movie.
Yeah.
Why not?
What are we doing?
Okay, yeah.
Comment if you agree. If you guys want Hayden Christensen to wear the Darth Vader suit and just act out stories that we haven't seen before, sure. Comment that. I would love to see that, okay? But I personally want Hayden Christensen to come back, do the between 2 and 3 story, and let's get more movies and spin-offs of battles that they fought and like more intricate stories that maybe even the Clone Wars didn't touch on.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. Okay, some more movie news is the Until Dawn movie has finally finished wrapping production.
Wow.
Now, Until Dawn, if you guys don't know, was a very popular video game. And it's like one of those video games where you like make decisions and everything. And you try to get everyone in the game to survive.
Yeah.
And I feel like this game was one of the biggest games. I forgot when it was, maybe like 2016-ish.
I don't think I've ever played it.
It's a really good game. Really good story. A lot of big actors in it.
Really?
Yeah. They finished filming and I really want to see which direction they go with it. Because there's a bunch of different outcomes in the game.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know which outcome they're going to come out with.
Until Dawn had real actors portraying characters?
Yeah.
So now they're making a movie?
I don't know if it's the same actors, though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they did have real actors in it. Okay, Sam Raimi is reportedly in talks to direct Doctor Strange 3, according to the Insider. I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
We saw how Multiverse of Madness went. But I think now that there's like the whole formulation of the Russos coming back for Secret Wars and Doomsday,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot more intact with one another. Like, you know how like Multiverse of Madness is kind of not connected to the whole big story of things, I feel like.
Multiverse of Madness?
I mean, it wasn't.
It took place right after, right? Like the whole Westview incident with WandaVision and
Right, but
Spider-Man.
I feel like this one has a chance to be more included, if that makes sense.
I think this is the situation. I think Multiverse of Madness was very included in terms of story, right? But like, I think what the disconnect of what happened was the whole Spider-Man No Way Home. People thought like Spider-Man should be showing up.
Oh.
But I think that in terms of connecting WandaVision and the results of No Way Home with the incursions, I thought it included
I guess,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think where we see Doctor Strange go next is probably going to be definitely important for the whole like Secret Wars Doomsday story.
Okay, so apparently also, according to Daniel RPK, if you guys don't know, that's a very reputable source, Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a Disney Plus series that will focus on finding Thomas Shepard. Speed.
Ooh.
It's going to be a direct sequel to WandaVision and Agatha All Along. So Agatha All Along is definitely going to end up on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to lead into that.
I mean, let's just talk about this really quick. I talked about this the other day in episode 3 of Agatha.
Yeah.
We see Teen trying to heat up the water in the sink, right? So he's like, there's a sous vide, and my dad used to love to use sous vides.
Yeah.
A sous vide is a cooking tool.
Right.
And what it does is it heats up water.
Yeah, and you like cook things in the water.
And what's so interesting about that little subtle detail is that Teen could be referring to Vision as his dad because Vision likes to cook.
Yeah.
Civil War, we see him cooking for Wanda.
Right. And you could assume that he continues that cooking journey.
Right. So it makes sense. And it's technology, right? So
yeah.
Vision would be totally loving the whole sous vide.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And okay, apparently there's a leak.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. I saw it on Reddit that there is Funko Pops of Wiccan.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know.
So, it's Wiccan.
Yeah. I don't know, though. Maybe they're fake. I don't know.
That'd be insane.
Okay, Christopher Nolan's next film is set to release in theaters July 17th, 2026. Now, what's so interesting about this is, as we know, Christopher Nolan usually likes to work with the same people. And we saw Matt Damon have a smaller role in Oppenheimer, but now he's being eyed to be the main star of this new movie.
Okay.
I don't know what it's about. All I know is that in 2026, it's going to be an interesting year because not only are we going to have Doomsday, right?
Yeah.
Or Secret Wars?
Doomsday.
We're also going to have this Christopher Nolan movie, and Steven Spielberg's next movie will also release in 2026. So we're going to have a lot of big movies in 2026, 2025, 2027. There's a lot of great movies coming outside of just Marvel, so that's exciting to see. And then Anthony Mackie just said that Captain America will now be a co-leader of the Avengers, okay? I think for a while there was a time when we thought Anthony Mackie's Captain America was going to be the main leader of the Avengers, but now he's going to be the co-leader. So I think that leaves room for Spider-Man to also be a leader.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I guess we'll see where it goes. But I definitely think Doctor Strange is leaning towards a leader now.
Yeah.
Because,
that makes the most sense, I feel like.
Because he hasn't even been an Avenger.
Right. And I feel like he has the power to be a leader, right? He's kind of like the multiverse guy.
Yeah.
So it would make more sense that he's it over Spider-Man.
Let's do this really quick. I want you to, we could both work on this right now. Figure out who is, just how we had our core Avengers.
Yeah.
Who is the core Avengers now? So I think we go Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
You're going to have Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then I think you go Yelena Belova.
Really?
Black Widow. Yeah. So that's
As an
four.
Avenger?
As an Avenger. I think she's going to follow her sister's footsteps.
Okay.
And then I would go,
Okay, so that's 4 so far.
that's 4. Don Cheadle's War Machine still.
Yeah. Scott Lang.
I mean, we're just talking about 6, right? So I think.
So is that it?
So Shuri, though? Black Panther, Shuri?
That's true.
So that's 7.
7.
I mean, what? Are we throwing in Captain Marvel? I mean,
Are we throwing in Clint Barton?
I mean, yeah, exactly.
So I think we have to, right?
Yeah, Clint Barton's still around.
Yeah.
Hulk's still around.
Hulk's still around. That's 9.
Oh, this list is getting too long.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities.
It's almost like the people that are considered Avengers now have to either be existing Avengers or people that have met with the Avengers team. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Like everybody in that group that we just named have met the Avengers team.
Right.
Kate Bishop has not really technically met the Avengers team.
I also think, too, you have to. What about Thor?
Right.
Thor's still around.
Thor's still around. So 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about. What is the core team now?
Yeah. That's a hard question.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Chris Pratt. There were plans for Star-Lord to form the new group, the Annihilators, in the MCU.
Ooh.
It was going to be like the Silver Surfer, Adam Warlock. It would be like a new version of the Guardians.
Interesting. That would be an interesting take to go, but I don't know how they would do that.
I will say this. What was really interesting is Goosebumps. Now, Goosebumps is a show on Disney Plus right now, and season 2 is going to be released on January 10th on Hulu. But what's really weird is if you watch the trailer for Goosebumps 2, the season 2, David Schwimmer, who plays Ross in Friends, is also in the show. It looks like Venom.
What?
Like he has Venom on him. Like I don't know, some kind of black goo. I could be wrong. Maybe there's something in the Goosebumps lore. But the producers of the show is also Sony.
Oh.
So I mean, could it be Venom? I don't know. Like here's the picture. The trailer though was very much Venom-y like.
That definitely looks like a Tom Hardy like Venom poster.
Yeah, I mean it definitely took inspiration from how they filmed it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It would be really interesting.
Goosebumps collaboration with Venom.
Yeah, I would watch it. I would love to see David Schwimmer be Venom.
Yeah.
You know what's so interesting about David Schwimmer is like after Friends or during Friends, he had the offer to be in Men in Black.
Really?
Yeah. And he turned it down.
Wow.
But he was saying that decision would have changed his career.
Yeah.
He could have been either like a huge movie star or remain, a huge star in just sitcoms, like the TV show space.
Yeah.
But since he didn't take that leap to do Men in Black, he feels that it really hurt his career in the movies.
Interesting. Men in Black is like super popular.
Yeah, it would have
across generations.
Yeah.
You know?
Look at what it did for Will Smith's career.
Yeah.
Okay, Timothy Chalamet's movie is Bob Dylan, a complete unknown. The trailer just released, I think, was it 2 days ago? It was really good.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how not only are they going to show Bob Dylan's early career, but they're going to show as he transitions with music. Like, as we know, Bob Dylan's style throughout history has changed. Like, he was very, like, folk, acoustic singing in the beginning, and then he started transitioning into like more rock and experimental, and a lot of people didn't receive that well, and I think that the movie's going to really show that, which is really exciting to see. And I think Timothy Chalamet is crushing it. I think one thing that's really good that he does is, I think what sets him ahead is that he finds like really good directors, right? Like he doesn't really do the Marvel movies. He doesn't do anything that, I'm not saying that Marvel movies don't have good directors. Obviously they do, but it looks like like James Mangold, right? He is directing the Bob Dylan movie, and he did Logan. He did Ford versus Ferrari, which are great films. James Mangold also directed Indiana Jones, the most recent one. That didn't do too hot. But other than that, though, James Mangold has done an amazing job in movies. And it's just so interesting how, if you look at Timothée Chalamet's career, he's been like focusing, like the director list he's worked with at such a young age, being like 27 or 28 years old, is insane. Most of these actors don't get those directors to work on their movies until 30s or 40s.
Right.
So it's interesting how from a young age he's already had so much leverage in working with these great directors, which I think really boosted his career.
Oh, 100%.
Makes him look a lot better in movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like there's been less risky movies he's done because he's been aligning himself with good directors.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Okay, Louis Pullman, who is Bob in Top Gun.
Bob.
And he's also Bob in Thunderbolts, I think. He's going to be playing Sentry. Now, everyone knows that Sentry is like the Superman of the MCU.
Yeah.
And he has confirmed that not only is he going to be playing the Sentry in the Thunderbolts movie, but he's also going to be playing the Sentry in many other MCU movies.
Oh, many?
I shouldn't use the word many, just says other projects.
Okay, but projects meaning plural. Right?
Yeah. So
more than one. Yeah.
Jessica Jones is reportedly to be teased in Daredevil Born Again, which I thought was like common knowledge. I honestly thought, she was posting on her Instagram in the Jessica Jones outfit, like excited to be back. I mean, what more can you really spoil? Like tease, like you're back.
You're right.
Get it.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know why you just did that on your Instagram story, but
that is kind of weird.
Will Smith, talking about Will Smith,
is
in talks to appear and star in the movie Fast and Loose, which is a Michael Bay movie.
Okay.
The film will follow a man who wakes up with no memories, but soon learns he's been living two lives, once a crime kingpin and the other as an undercover CIA agent.
What? That's a crazy concept.
Yeah. As we know, Michael Bay, explosions, it's going to be good.
Wow. So the story follows someone who has no memory, but before they lost their memory, they lived two lives.
Good and bad.
And it's like on two opposite sides of the spectrum.
I know. That's so crazy. What's so interesting, too, is Joker 2. I don't know.
I don't know.
Joker 2 ultimately came from a dream that Joaquin Phoenix once had.
What? It came from a dream?
That's what inspired the making of Joker 2.
Oh.
It does feel like a dream.
That feels really weird to hear.
I will see the reason why I like Joker 2, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to die on this hill.
No, yeah. I think, I'm with you.
I think what's so interesting about it is that, like how sequels usually try to progress the story a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But what was so interesting about Joker 2, it literally is almost like a 1.5. Like, it is just, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's not progressing too far because after the crimes of the first one, you can't get much further in life.
Right.
Like your target, you have such a big target on your back.
Yeah.
There's not much more you could do and beat the system.
Right.
Like,
it makes total sense. Sense.
It's realistic. And that's what's so refreshing about this superhero movie, that it went, even though it's the musical side of things, I get it, but like it is really realistic through the eyes of Arthur Fleck, right?
Right.
Like he wrote out the story, wrote it out in terms of he went the distance it could go of someone that committed the crimes he did.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this again too. We were told months in advance to this movie, ever being at Venice Film Festival, right? That it's a musical, it's a different Harley Quinn, it's a different Joker.
Yeah.
So we knew from the beginning, months before this movie, that this was going to be completely different.
Right.
This is not a Joker that you're going to see in comic books. This is not a Joker that you're going to, like Heath Ledger.
Right.
So I think when people understand that, then it's like, okay, what could you really expect?
Right. And after the first Joker,
yeah,
that's a totally different Joker than all the other Jokers we've seen on screen. And his ultimate ending is not going to align with the Jokers of the past.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm so confused why people are so upset.
Yeah. I also do think, I think I said this last week too, but like this generation does not like musicals as much as like older generations.
Yeah.
So when they see like a superhero movie being a musical, they're kind of turned off by it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Marvel news again.
Okay.
Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh's character, it will reportedly be the face of a new team in the MCU after the Thunderbolts.
Whoa. After the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, so this is where the whole theory comes in that I do think the Thunderbolts with the asterisk is actually the West Coast Avengers or the Dark Avengers.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's going to be the face of the new team, the Dark Avengers, after the Thunderbolts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So technically she is an Avenger.
A Dark Avenger.
Yeah.
Okay, and then moving on to this. last thing about Deadpool and Wolverine. Over 597,000 households in the U.S. have bought or rented Deadpool and Wolverine on digital platforms in the first 6 days.
What?
That is 53% higher viewership than Oppenheimer and 64% higher than Barbie.
Oh my gosh.
Now, keep this in mind. 597,000, okay? So 597,000 minimum paid $25 to rent,
Oh
or
my gosh.
$29.99 I think to buy. But I'm pretty sure it was over $20 to rent. So if you do, let's say 20,
Yeah.
and let's just round it up to 600. What is that? 600 times 20 is $12 million.
That is crazy. $12 million?
On the low, because if it was $30, it would be you times by 30.
And you know people definitely bought that movie.
Yeah, I don't think they're just renting it, because
Yeah.
you might as well, for $10 more, you might as well just
I mean,
buy it.
we bought it.
Yeah. I mean, that was a given, I thought, but 18 million if everyone bought it.
Oh my gosh.
But what's crazy is that in the big scheme of things, 18 million to Deadpool and Wolverine was nothing, because they made over $1 billion.
Right. But just like post-release, that's insane.
Yeah,
18
post-release.
Imagine if we were in a time where there was no digital. It was all you had to go buy the DVD. That DVD would be so hard to find.
Yeah.
It would be off the shelves.
What's so interesting, too, is that most people nowadays don't even buy movies because you just have streaming.
Right.
Right, you buy Disney Plus, you don't need, I'll wait a couple months, right? But with Deadpool and Wolverine, it got people to buy their movie
Yeah.
and still have a Disney Plus subscription,
That's pretty remarkable. Okay, so moving on to this new segment we want to do is fan submitted theories. So everyone's going to be able to submit a theory every week. And this is the theory that I chose. So there's a theory for Toy Story. So the theory is that since we see that in Toy Story 1, Woody has really no shame in showing Sid that he could come to life. So that means that somewhere in the Toy Story universe, there's got to be people out there that know that toys can come to life.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, and the theory says that maybe toy collectors are the ones that know that toys could come to life. And they actually have like relationships and friendships with these toys when they come to life. So down the road in the Toy Story movies, we're going to come across toy collectors that actually know their toys could come to life.
Dude, that would be insane.
But it makes sense.
It makes sense. But that is going to be epic.
Yeah. But see, if Woody was able to show Sid that he can come to life,
Yeah.
right? And all these other toys are showing Sid, a little kid, they're going to show other people,
Yeah.
Like there's got to be other toys in the world that are showing people that they can come to life.
Right.
And you don't think there's a toy out there that's so desperate to keep their owner that they come to life to show them that they should keep them.
Right.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that we've talked about before. Someone sent this in about the genie.
Ooh.
The genie from Aladdin. Okay, so the genie from Aladdin comes out of the
lamp.
says, I've been trapped in there for 10,000 years.
Yes.
The genie also has so many pop culture references, like Jack Nicholson
Right.
using a microphone and all this stuff. That
Like the neon signs.
Right, which should have came out like maybe 60s, 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah.
So if you fast forward 10,000 years after that,
Mm-hmm.
because he must have been alive during
Right.
that time. So 10,000 years he's been trapped from then. It means that Aladdin takes place in the future.
10,000 years in the future.
So the theory is that it takes place in a futuristic, apocalyptic world where the world went to shambles.
Yeah.
And the rebuild.
Yeah. And what's crazy about this, there was a Aladdin video game. And in the game, like you see that there's bombshells that are like nuclear bombshells.
Right.
But you also see stop signs as
Right.
if there were cars.
Yeah, and there was no cars in the movie.
Yeah, so Aladdin is definitely in the future because the stop signs were like buried as if they've been long gone.
Right.
And the bombshells were buried as if those were long gone off,
Right.
right? So I think it's definitely in the future.
Yeah.
Because 10,000 years. Come on.
Come on now. That's a long time.
Yeah. So Aladdin is definitely in the future. I think that's a very plausible theory with a lot of good evidence.
Guys, we want to do another segment, but it requires your guys' help. If someone's down to share like a funny story, a scary story, any kind of story that you've experienced in your life, you can comment it in the comments or DM us on Instagram, and we're going to start pulling those stories and saying them on the podcast.
Yes.
So just if you feel comfortable in saying it and you want it shared, we can say your name or not say your name, whatever you want, and we can talk about it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast or listening to it, and we'll see you guys next week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're all there.
We'll see you on the TikTok.
God bless you guys. Love ya.
See ya and love ya.